Hey guys, how's it going? This is Michael.
This is Kyle.
And this is our Justice League trailer reaction NYCC 2017. I assume NYCC stands for New York Comic Con.
No, it does not.
What does it stand for?
It stands for never. I don't know. Yeah, it's New York Comic Con.
You are quite slow this evening, Kyle. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, for joining us. We're watching the Justice League trailer number 3 that is coming out. That had just come out a day or two ago. Kyle, you want to tell us a little bit about the trailer?
It's the final trailer before the movie comes out in November.
Okay.
Which is competing against Thor Ragnarok. So Marvel, DC. So
is it coming out on the same day? I wonder. Do you know?
I think it just has no. I don't remember exactly what day. I just know they're both in November, which is less than a month away now.
Yeah, crazy.
So,
are you looking?
I think Thor is early November, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah, and I think this one's a little bit more mid, maybe.
But yeah, anyway, this is the third trailer, the final trailer that we're gonna get, and the first 2 trailers were decent. I mean, it was cool. Like, I've never said this wasn't a cool movie.
Wow, tell us how you really feel.
I'm really hoping we get some story. I really hope we get a better sense of. I just don't want nameless, faceless heroes killing faceless things. You know what I mean? So hopefully we get something good from this trailer.
All right. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed and go ahead and let's get the trailer going.
Is my sound on? Oh.
He's not dead? No, this is just a dream. Look at that handsome guy.
I'll take that as a yes.
What?
The ring.
Aww.
In mourning after the death of Superman. Violence, acts of war, and terrorism are all on the rise.
I had a dream. It was the end of the world.
Invasion.
I think it's something more. Something darker.
How could it be darker than the end of the world?
We're asking people we don't know to risk their lives.
Strong man is strongest alone. You ever heard that? That's not a saying. That's the opposite of what the saying is. Divided. We are not enough. The world needs Superman. I made him a promise. This is why I brought you together.
Ride ain't over yet.
My man.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. As a bat signal, that's your... Oh, sorry. That's your signal. That means we have to go now.
Yeah, that's what that means.
It's so cool.
Is it just me, or do you get the sense that the Flash is kind of the equivalent to the DC universe's, the Marvel universe's Spider-Man? Like that kind of a kid, kind of the comic relief type of superhero that's just like super overpowered.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for with him. Yeah. What did you think of the movie or the trailer?
I thought it was good. It definitely seems a lot more grandiose. It definitely seems a lot more epic, dramatic than the previous trailers. The previous trailers seemed a little bit more shoot 'em up and kill, and this trailer kind of seems a little bit more that the Justice League is in a little bit more of a dire situation, which I guess they are because they're saying it's the end of the world.
Right. So, yeah, and that's part of the problem is I really don't care about the world that they built so far in the with their DC universe.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So this whole Superman thing, Superman, and we've talked about this before, but Superman, I don't believe that he's like this influential figure in this world. Like the whole world misses him. I don't think they did a good enough job of making him the hero that he is in the comics, and and everything. I think Henry Cavill plays him perfectly. I love him. He's a very stoic, very humanized version of Superman, and I like that. And that's what I liked. That's what I liked a lot about Man of Steel. Is the very first half of that movie was so good and so down to earth, and it was really well done. It had a really good tone and a good message about acceptance, or how do you fit in this world.
Yeah.
Much like we just saw with Rey in the Jedi trailer, or in the Force Awakens trailer. Yeah. There's this sense of
the Last Jedi trailer.
I would rather DC go about the business of making it here's a human interest story with a superhero coat of paint over it. The Justice League needs to be, here is a group of people trying to put aside their differences for a common goal with a superhero paint of coat over it. And this trailer was exactly like Man of Steel, right? It was really, really good in the beginning, and it finally gave you a sense of somberness and tranquility, and like, oh man, what are the ramifications of Superman dying? And then it just got into destruction porn again. And it was just like the Avengers at the very end of the original Avengers, which was a better movie, but
but they build up to that part at least.
It's the one criticism about the Avengers is that they were and I understand it because it was the very first Avengers movie, and they haven't done it really. Well, they have kind of done it since in other Marvel movies, but
tread carefully, Kyle, because the Avengers is my favorite movie.
But they were nameless, faceless villains that were just an excuse for their heroes to do really cool things and have really cool action set pieces. You don't care about them. I mean, you saw guys
after a very long development of the superheroes.
You saw Steppenwolf was he turning people into parademons, or was he killing? I don't understand.
I thought he was killing him. It looked to me like he was killing him, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it could have been killing him, but it also could have been changing him into a demon or whatever. But and I feel like Marvel movies have been criticized for, especially ever since Loki, who is probably the best villain Marvel has going for it.
Yeah,
the villains have been people hell-bent on destruction, and it's just they're evil for the sake of being evil, and they're evil for the sake of a protagonist, whatever random motivations you want to give. Loki had decent, good, great motivations in trying to prove acceptance to his father in Thor, and then that's why he's the villain, and he's a great actor. Tom Hiddleston does a great job playing Loki, and he's fun to watch. And Civil War had that, where they had the Russian guy or the Sokovian guy or whoever he was is the villain, and the real struggle was within the team, and that was another good movie, a good use of using a villain. Every other Marvel movie is a hero that needs to be beaten by, or a villain that needs to be beaten by the hero for because he wants to take over the world, and that's what this is. It looks like. I hope it's not just that, but I haven't seen a story from Steppenwolf. I haven't seen a story from Apocalypse. I don't know. It looks like I'm the big baddie in the universe, and I want to destroy your planet, and I'm kind of
so correct me if I'm wrong. Steppenwolf is Apocalypse's general, correct?
Yeah, he's Apocalypse's guy first. He's the first in command dude, and it looks like they're going to use him. He's going to be the main villain of this one.
Okay, so it looks like the story of this one is Steppenwolf is the world is in somber because Superman's not there anymore, and Steppenwolf comes in with an army to try to take over the world, and Bruce Wayne acknowledges this and has to grab a bunch of people to fight this guy off, hopefully. And then I'm sure Superman comes in at the very end when it's the last dire situation, and Superman saves the day. That's my prediction. That's probably what's going to happen. But I like the point you had earlier, where it was the villain that was there, and then the heroes needed to conquer the villain, and that's an important distinction, because the villain in the Avengers movies and Civil War is
in the Thor movie, Loki, really, because Loki kind of became in the Avengers the villain to stop, but in Thor,
but it was a developed it was a developed character that's the villain, which is get you invested in the movie. Okay, this guy needs to be stopped. We kind of see where he's coming from, but he needs to be stopped, right? And in this one, it kind of seems like the Steppenwolf is this nameless, faceless figure that comes with an army that is the obvious villain for no reason. He just is there to conquer, and we all need to stop him. And honestly, I think we're all so developed in our storytelling audience ability that just doesn't wash anymore.
Well, you would like your villains to have a sense of nuance. You don't want them just to be villains for villains. What tie do they have to the hero? You know, it's a lot. I like the gray areas, and I keep referencing Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones does a really good job of taking a good guy and making him a little, well, is he a good guy? And taking a bad guy and being like, well, is he really a bad guy? Is he just a victim of circumstances, or, you know, not even a victim? Maybe he's just someone who makes bad decisions sometimes and good decisions sometimes, you know, like, and so it's just, this movie just does not, I don't have faith that DC can like correct the ship with the current universe that they set up. I'd rather them just wash and start over.
They're pretty pot committed into this universe that they've developed.
You say, Christopher Nolan, here is $100 billion. Just you don't even have to direct anything. You just have to be in charge of story and script writing and of the overarching story that you want to tell with these characters. And not that Christopher Nolan's like the end all be all of all, like just because he made these 3 great Superman or these 3 great Batman movies doesn't mean, you know, but you know, at least you have continuity between movies and things that make sense and everything. And it's just, DC's playing catch up to Marvel. Like, and it's so obvious and it feels so rushed. Why not have a standalone Flash movie first? Why not have a standalone Cyborg movie first? And then get into the Justice League. Well,
they have a standalone Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, they do, and that helped. But that was also, she was the best part of Batman versus Superman, and she got her own movie, and she has the best movie so far of all of the DC Universe movies, and so she's a very well liked character in that. So it wasn't surprising she got her own movie, and it was well directed, and it came from a different, you know, it had a different take. Again, the villains were in that one were a bit generic, but you know, it's like she's the best developed character in the Justice League right now.
Yeah. And to your point earlier, I thought you had a good. Unfortunately, I thought you had a good analogy and analysis of what this movie could be like the Man of Steel. So it seems like, you know, obviously for everyone out there, I'm sure there's a general consensus on this. The first half of the movie of Man of Steel was really good, character development, you know, and then when Jor-El comes, it just all hell breaks loose and just trains hitting tankers, hitting more tankers and explosions.
You mean everywhere. Zod? When Zod comes?
Who'd I say?
Jor-El.
Oh, Jor-El. Okay, whatever. Zod. My bad. But yeah. So it kind of seems that this movie's taking the same route, and it seems to me that they are playing catch up with Marvel, and they're developing enough story for half a good movie. And obviously you can't roll out with half a movie, so you need to fill the other half with just destructive porn, as you would call it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that seems to be the way it's gonna take.
Yeah.
And
I don't
I'm not
I don't mind
excited for that.
I don't mind the nameless, faceless killing if we've built to it correctly. You know, if it's
like the Avengers. The Avengers built to it correctly. It had development between all of its characters. You know, they had standalone movies, and then they all come together. They were all seamless. They were the same characters throughout the movies.
That's the thing is we got a good story leading up to it. You know, we got to see the characters interact and not like each other, and it's just the movie.
And hello, they threw in the villain too. Villain development.
Well, I can tell you exactly where this trailer lost it for me. It's like it had a good tone, and then right when Cyborg catches Aquaman in the air, and he says, "My man."
Yeah, that seemed a little too fantastic. And I'm
that's
using
what I'm saying.
fantastic in the colloquial sense.
Sometimes less is more. You know, you don't need to push it all out there with the visual effects in your face, because the more you rely on that CG, the more it's apparent that it's CG. A good use, again, I hate to go back to Game of Thrones, but a good use of CG is Game of Thrones. Half the time you don't know it's there. Like, you don't even realize it's there. And I know I'm watching a giant faceless horde of CG characters. Like it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna have a good time watching it. But I'm trying to think about this on a deeper level. Is this gonna be the correction that DC or the movie that DC needs to continue their universe? Or if you want depth, because we all thought you go to DC for depth and dark and whatever. But now it seems like you go to Marvel for a deeper storyline. Although I do,
Which is so funny because DC actually license out their characters so that you can have all these different stories that are happening to the same characters. And the way they rectify that as different dimensions.
The Flashpoint paradox was a great idea. Like that was a great
absolutely.
story. There's a lot of heart in these stories, and it just doesn't convey in these movies right now. Like even Suicide Squad. I had problems with Suicide Squad. I don't know.
I had a problem with the villain in Suicide Squad. It just
Yeah.
You know, there's not really development. And you know, in looking back at it, that seems to be the theme for DC, is just that there's no villain development, so I'm not really invested in the movies.
See,
or the character
Lex
taking off.
Luthor should have been their Loki, right? Like someone who's
for sure
a
He could have been
human
a fantastic
or someone
character.
who's tied to the hero in a very real way. Like Lex Luthor's a politician, but the way Jesse Eisenberg did Lex Luthor,
I was gonna say BT Dubs. How'd you like Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of Lex Luthor?
Noob.
Fanatic, just dumb.
I get what they were going for. Like, I understand, and I know that he's Lex Luthor Jr. Technically, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not the original Lex Luthor, who should have been played by Bryan Cranston. I don't know. It's just more than that. It's just here we go again. And this is the thing I fear with Thanos too in the Infinity Wars. Another villain who's just bent on destruction. There's no backstory in the movies, at least as far as the movies go, for Thanos. No. So I don't know.
You get a little bit of it in Guardians of the Galaxy.
But he's still just a villain for this. Like, he just wants destruction in the real universe. Like why? Did his mom leave him when he was little? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, why?
That's the real headline. That's the real sum up of the trailer reaction here. Is Thanos' mom left him, which is why he wants to conquer the universe.
The number one screenwriting rule is show me, don't tell me. Don't all your exposition shouldn't be through dialogue. It should be through showing me on screen. And all we've done is we've had dialogue with Thanos so far, and that's it. But was that Justice League trailer? Like, just for the record, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I feel like DC so far with their current run of movies has sort of dashed my hopes a little bit. You know, they've sort of dashed my hopes in being able to create a good story.
Yeah. And that's really what it comes down to. A movie's only as good as its storytelling ability, and Marvel has that, and we'll see if DC has that with the.
Marvel has that on occasion.
Justice.
Not all their movies are home runs.
A lot of their movies are home runs,
but all their movies are fun at the very least.
Yeah, exactly. And this one will be probably be a fun popcorn click. I don't know. I'll watch it definitely in theaters, and we'll see how it is.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching and joining us for the Justice League trailer reaction, the final trailer reaction before it comes out in November. Please subscribe, comment down below. Let us know what you guys want to see. Let us know, we always love getting suggestions for trailers, and more likely than not, we're a small enough channel right now to do them. So let us know, and we can get to the trailers for you. Thank you so much, and as always, this is Michael.
This is Kyle.
And this has been a critique on the universe of trailers.
Later, guys.